Hello and welcome. This is Cheryl, aka Artsy Island Girl for Pajama Crafter Stamp. Today I'm going to create a baby pendulum card with a rocking chair. Pendulum cards are great for adding an interactive element to your cards, but you can limit the amount of motion that they have. So the first thing I need to do is create that rocking chair. I'm using the Christmas rocking chair die set here. I'm going to be using the rocking chair as well as the little teddy bear and then the blanket. And then I have this Petite Criss Cross Better Press plate. I'm just going to add a little bit of pattern to the background with that. And finally, what's a card without a sentiment? So I'm going to use this Sweet Sentiments press plate set for my sentiments. I have all of my pieces cut out and ready to go. First, I'm going to do a little bit of ink blending before I assemble my rocking chair. There's a lot of pieces to the rocking chair, and what I like to do is lay them all out close to where they're going to end up before I start to assembling. It just makes it a little bit easier than trying to pick out pieces out of a pile of die cuts. Just makes it a little bit more organized, and that way you don't lose anything along the process. I'm doing a little bit of ink blending with some Walnut Stain Distress ink and a large blending brush just to add some visual dimension to it. You could also, if you wanted, use several different shades of brown cardstock. I find that ink blending tends to be a little bit easier, as well as it tends to be a little bit more natural looking. A lot of these pieces die cut from the same die, so rather than having multiple pieces left over that I'm not going to need, it was just easier doing it out of one color of brown and then doing some ink blending on it. You can see that I've organized all of my pieces close to where they're going to finish off to make it easy for that assembly. And then I'm also using some Barely Art glue in a fine line bottle. I love liquid glue when assembling because it gives you that little bit of wiggle room to move and shimmy pieces in place, and especially for dies like this where there's a bunch of different layering pieces that go on top of each other. It makes it really easy for that placement, and you really don't need to use a whole lot of glue. So the first two pieces there that I had assembled were the arms to the chair, and now I'm assembling the rockers for the bottom of the chair, and then we can start to assemble the different chair pieces. I also assembled or added the top part to the chair. It lines up with the top of that chair with the railings exactly, just adds a little bit of visual dimension to it. I have a piece cut out of Wildberry cardstock that's going to be the cushion to the chair, so it's just going to add a pop of color to that rocking chair. I chose a medium to dark brown for this rocking chair because I really wanted it to be standing out from my background to my card. You could also use a lighter color if you'd prefer to have a lighter color looking wood. That would work as well, and even white would work great too. So once I have the arms as well as the rockers assembled, I can start to assemble that chair. So I put the little cushion onto the top part of the chair with the railings, as well as the rockers on the bottom part of the chair. Now I can add the cushion part to the other seat of the chair part, as well as the other handle. This is one of those die sets that looks like there's a ton of pieces, and there is, and it looks really confusing when you just start. But like I said before, when I do these things, I lay them all out on my desk, and it makes it a little bit easier in your mind to know exactly where everything is going to go. I have the piece for the blanket that I'm going to put over top of the arm of the chair, and I have it die cut out of some velvet cardstock. Velvet cardstock, this is an adhesive velvet cardstock. It's nice and fuzzy, and I typically like using it when I'm doing things that are soft. Like I have another color die cut for this teddy bear. I also use it when I'm using animal die cuts because it's a great way to add some texture really easily to your die cuts. Now, what I do is I put that adhesive backing onto some scrap cardstock before I die cut it. It die cuts just like regular cardstock, so you don't need any special anything to do the die cutting. It die cuts beautifully. And then when it comes to assembling, it does take a little bit longer for it to dry because I use that liquid glue. The liquid glue tends to soak into that velvet for a few moments, and then it starts to set. So it does take a little bit longer to dry than regular cardstock, but the effect is so worth it because it adds that fuzzy element to your cards. And it's just something fun to touch. Such an easy way to add texture to these pieces. Now, I forgot to cut the inside pieces of the ear, so I did that off screen and just added that to the teddy bear. Those are just little half circles there that go right within the ears, and we can set that aside to completely dry. Here is the finished product ready to go once I'm ready for it. Now, like I said before, there's a ton of pieces to that, but it's so worth it. When you have it together, all those pieces end up adding so much detail to your cards. For the background here, I'm using the Petite Criss Cross press plate in my Better Press system. I'm just going to ink it lightly with some sponge sugar distress ink. Again, I'm just using this to add some pattern to the background, but I don't really want it to be bold pattern. I don't want it to take attention away from that rocking chair, so I chose a really light pink. You can see that with the color scheme that I chose, that I was leaning towards a baby girl card here. You could easily take those pinks and turn them to blues or greens or whatever color you want for the color palette that you like. Customize it with different colors. So I'm just using the distress ink right on that press plate. I'm using this right on some Hammermill cardstock. It would also be great on some like cream colored cardstock here if you wanted to have like a cream and pink background. That would look nice as well. Once I have that ink on there, I put the clear plate to the base and then run it through my Platinum 6 machine to press that pattern into the back. And you can see that that pattern is very, very subtle. Again, I wanted to keep it more subtle. You could add a darker pink if you wanted it to be darker, but I wanted to make sure that it just added a little bit of interest, a little bit of texture to that background, but didn't distract. For the sentiment, this press plate has a bunch of different sentiments on it. I have a scrap piece of that Hammermill cardstock there, and I'm just positioning it so that I'm only really getting that one sentiment. That's all that I'm really needing for this project. I don't need extra sentiments for future projects, especially in the colors that I'm doing. So I'm basically positioning that paper where I want that one sentiment to go onto that paper there. If you want to have all of the sentiments, you could easily use a larger piece of Hammermill cardstock. I want to heat emboss this sentiment, so I used a little bit of embossing powder tool in my cardstock. Then I inked it with some Versamark ink and then put the clear plate to the base and ran it through my Platinum 6 machine to press that pattern in. And I am heat embossing this with some Kitsch Flamingo Distress Glaze. Distress Glaze comes in so many different colors. I love doing sentiments with embossing because it adds that extra little bit of texture that you get from the raised embossed sentiment, but you could easily just use ink here. If you don't want to have that raised and shiny look, that extra little bit of texture, you could just use ink in this and it would work perfectly as well. Once I have that die in position, I do use a little bit of Best Ever craft tape in order to tape it in place. I want to make sure that that die is not going to move on me while I'm doing my die cutting. And I just reuse those pieces of tape multiple times until they don't really stick anymore, and then I toss them. So with my sentiment ready to go, I stuck that to the side and we're ready to start working on the base of our card. So the very first thing I'm going to do is take that piece that I did for my background, that Better Press crisscross piece, and I trim that down to 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches. I'm just doing a slight little bit of ink blending with that Walnut Stain Distress ink around the outside edges. I just want to kiss those edges with color. I want it to look a little bit vintagey, a little bit distressed, a little bit framed, and just a little bit more interesting. So I only did a little bit of that ink blending around the outside edges. I have a mat for this card that is trimmed to 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, so that is also going to frame it around there. That's the same color that was used for the cushion to the chair, so it's going to tie that in. I lay my rocking chair on my background and then put a pencil mark where I want my hole to go for my pendulum mechanism. So I have a circle die from the Like to Move It die set, tape that in place with that Best Ever craft tape to make sure that it was going to stay in place, and then ran that through my die cutting machine to die cut that hole there. And I always position my die where I want it to go on the finished card and just place a pencil mark where, like at the center where I want the little snap and slide to go. I know exactly where to place that die to tape it in place so that I can die cut it. Once I have that die cut, I can take that die off there, put the snap and slide in. These have 2 pieces to them, one with a hole in the center, one that just has like a little spike in the center. It's not really a spike, it's just a plastic nib or whatever. They snap together, one goes behind, one goes in front, and you just snap them together. If you want this to totally spin, you could glue your piece on here and it would totally spin around, but we're going to add a pendulum mechanism so that we have some limited movement to it. I'm using a sticky spot in order to stick my rocking chair to that snap and slide. So once I have that sticky spot on there, I can just press that rocking chair right down on there. I'm going to use a little piece of Best Ever craft tape to hold that rocking chair in place. I know this rocking chair is large enough that I'd be able to see if it moved on me, but I want to make sure that I have the proper positioning for my pendulum. I have a piece of scrap paper here that's trimmed to 1/2 inch wide, and I just put it over that snap and slide to kind of gauge how long this needs to be. Then I can trim it down. And for this card, it ended up being 2 inches. Every card is going to be different. Now, I tried this off screen, and I know that one of these washers isn't quite enough weight for this particular die cut. This die cut's large. It had a lot of cardstock pieces as well as those velvet scraps, so it's a little bit heavier. So it needs a little bit more weight on the pendulum in order to have it swinging freely. So I layered 2 of these washers on top of each other using sticky spots to glue them in place. And then I used a little bit of embossing powder tool on them just to remove the sticky from any exposed pieces of that sticky spot. I'm using some detailed scissors in order to round the bottom of that pendulum. Now we're going to be using foam tape on the back of this, and when this is swinging back and forth, I don't want a chance that those bottom corners from that pendulum are going to wedge into the foam tape. So by rounding them with those scissors, I can ensure that's not going to happen. I use another sticky spot on that back of that snap and slide in order to tape that pendulum in place. And here we can see that we have some free movement to that rocking chair. Now you can see here it's rocking quite a bit, but once we go and add that foam tape to the back of it, we can control how much it's able to rock back and forth. I have some double thick foam tape here. I'm going to put it about 1/2 inch away from that pendulum. So that pendulum is going to stop when it hits that foam tape. That's how we control how much movement it has. I don't necessarily need this rocking chair to have huge movement to it. Just a little bit of rocking back and forth is enough. I'm keeping that piece of Best Ever Craft tape holding that rocking chair in place because when I flip this over to put this onto the front of the card, I don't want that pendulum to rock so much that it goes underneath my tape. So by having that Best Ever Craft tape still on there, I make sure that that pendulum is still hanging down and is not going to move on me and not going to move underneath that tape. So once I have it down how I want it, I can remove that tiny little piece of Best Ever Craft tape, and here is the finished card. Now here's the finished card, but it doesn't have as much free movement as I want. You could see how much movement it had before I stuck it to the back of the card, and I realized that by stacking those washers, because this is an issue that I've never had before, by stacking those washers, I made that little pendulum piece too thick. It was about the thickness of that foam tape, so it didn't have free movement behind there. So while thinking about this, I did a little bit of ink blending on my sentiment. I'm going to put the sentiment on the inside of the card. If it was a tiny sentiment, I could put it on the front, but there's really not any space on the front. So I put it on the inside of the card and I ink blended it with that Walnut Stain Distress ink just to give it a little bit more oomph on the inside of the card. You could also use a colored mat of cardstock on the inside as well if you wanted. So rather than leave it like this, I mean, it still rocks back and forth, but I wanted it to have a little bit more free movement to it. I'm going to take this card front off and I'm going to add another layer of that foam tape. It's just going to give that pendulum just a little bit more room. Now remember, I did those 2 washers because this die cut is really quite large, so it is a little bit heavier, so it needs a little bit more weight in order to rock it back and forth. So by adding that second washer, it made the pendulum on the back thicker. If you're doing this type of thing with a smaller die cut that doesn't have as much weight, you don't need to. This is the first time I've ever used 2 washers here and the first time I've ever had this issue. So I'm using some more of that foam tape on top of it. This is going to give the front of the card more dimension than usual, but it's also going to give that pendulum more room for it to move. Now I took that piece of Best Ever Craft tape once again, put it on my rocking chair just so that it would keep that pendulum free from the foam tape, and then I can put it onto the front of the card, making sure that I have it centered in the mat. So now we have our pendulum that swings nice and freely because it has the space behind the front of the card in order to move. Now I did this one with a rocking chair. These work so well with so many different things. Anything you want to rock back and forth on your cards with limited movement, they are perfect for. And the mechanism is really so easy to create, and it just takes a scrap of cardstock as well as the washers for weight and the snap and slide. You'll find all the supplies used to create this card listed in a link down in the description below. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate any time you stop by and spend some time with us. Have a fantastic day.